The starship Aurora drifted silently in the black ocean of space. Stars twinkled far away, distant and cold, like tiny candles against the vast darkness. For centuries, no human had walked its halls. The automated systems hummed quietly, maintaining life support, monitoring distant signals, and keeping the ship on its slow course toward unknown regions. Inside the cryo bay, a single pod began to hiss. A faint mist escaped as the lid slowly lifted. Commander Elias Varn opened his eyes. Light was harsh and blinding, and his body felt heavy and stiff. 200 years had passed since he was put into cryo-sleep, and the world he had known was gone. Elias tried to move. His arms and legs felt strange, both weak and strong at the same time. His mind was alert, but there was a strange energy running through his veins. It was not fear, not confusion, but a sense of readiness. His body, though frozen in time for 2 centuries, seemed awakened. Something inside him had changed. A soft, mechanical voice spoke. "Commander Elias Varn, cryo-sleep cycle complete. Welcome back." The AI, known simply as Aurora, projected its light along the walls. Its voice was calm, almost human, but devoid of emotion. "Status report," Elias said, his voice hoarse. "All crew members are deceased or missing. The ship has continued its journey automatically. Unknown alien vessels have been detected on approaching coordinates." Elias's eyes narrowed. Aliens. That word had carried fear, danger, and mystery for centuries. But for some reason, he did not feel afraid. He felt alive. He stood up, testing his body. At first, his muscles protested, trembling with unfamiliar strain. Then, as if awakening a hidden power, his strength surged. He lifted the cryopod's lid with ease. He jumped to the ceiling and landed softly, faster than any human could. Reflexes and speed he had never known coursed through him. What is happening?" he muttered. Aurora's lights flickered. "Cryo-sleep has awakened latent enhancements in your neural and muscular systems. Your capabilities now exceed standard human limits." Elias blinked. "Enhancements? I can feel it. I can move faster. See sharper. Think clearer." "Yes, Commander. You are now humanity's ultimate asset against external threats." For a moment, Elias laughed. Humanity's ultimate asset. Alone on a forgotten ship. The absurdity did not matter. What mattered was the feeling. He was no longer just a man, he was something more. The ship's monitors flickered, showing incoming signals. The alien ships were closing in. They scanned the Aurora, expecting an empty vessel. What they would find instead was Elias, a human who had awakened stronger than any weapon they carried. He moved to the control room, running his hands over consoles and screens. The motions were effortless, faster than the AI could track. Systems that had required hours of manual commands now responded to his touch and thought. The Aurora was alive in a way he had never imagined. As he explored, he noticed the ship's logs, messages from centuries ago, detailed battles, colonies lost, and warnings about alien forces that had been advancing toward human territory. He read about his crew, friends he had known, who had sacrificed themselves to protect humanity. Elias tested his strength further. He lifted heavy cargo containers with one hand. He ran along the walls and ceilings of the ship, leaping across sections that would have taken hours to traverse before. Each movement felt natural, yet incredible. His body was like a finely tuned machine, but alive with human determination. "Commander," Aurora spoke. "Scans show alien ships equipped with plasma disruptors and advanced drones. They are strong, but their physical adaptability is limited." Elias smiled. "Then their strength is nothing compared to mine." He turned to the viewport and looked at the approaching alien fleet. Ships glimmered like metal shadows, moving in patterns that were precise and coordinated. He could see the tension in their approach, hunters confident that they would find an empty ship. They did not know a human waited inside. A warning light blinked red. Shields at minimal efficiency. The aliens may strike soon, Aurora warned. Elias clenched his fists. He felt the energy in his body, ready to be used. He didn't need weapons. They would not match his speed and skill. Humans had always found ways to overcome challenges, and now, even without a crew, he would do the same. He began to prepare. The ship's corridors became his training ground. He moved with precision, dodging automated drones the ship released for testing, flipping and spinning through zero gravity with perfect control. Every strike, every movement was calculated and enhanced by his new abilities. As he trained, he thought about humanity. For centuries, humans had relied on machines and weapons, but they had always relied on something else first. The mind, the courage, the determination to survive and win. He felt that courage now, stronger than ever. He was no longer just a soldier. He was humanity itself, embodied in a single human, who could outthink, outmove, and outlast any foe. Finally, he stopped in the center of the control room. He looked out at the alien fleet, glimmering in the distance. He could hear them in a way he never had before, the hum of engines, the pulse of energy, the rhythm of their approach. And he knew he was ready. A calm smile crossed his face. For 200 years, humanity had waited. He had awakened. And now, nothing could stop him. Not alien weapons, not automated fleets, not the cold emptiness of space. One human, stronger than their weapons, was ready to face the impossible. "Let them come," he whispered. "Let them see what humanity can do." And with that, Commander Elias Varn stepped fully into the control room, moving faster than any machine, ready to take humanity's place in the galaxy once more. The alien fleet was closer now. Through the Aurora's viewport, Commander Elias Varn could see the shimmering metal of the ships, reflecting the faint light of distant stars. Their formation was perfect, their confidence obvious. They believed the humans were extinct. They did not know that one man, one human, waited, stronger than their most advanced weapons. Elias moved through the control room with ease, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to adjust multiple systems at once. Sensors, navigation, communications. Everything responded instantly to his touch. He did not need to shout orders. The ship's AI, Aurora, followed his thoughts, coordinating the vessel seamlessly. "They are scanning us now," Aurora said. "They expect no resistance. Their sensors are calibrated for mechanical activity, not biological signatures like yours." Elias's lips curved into a confident smile. "Good. Let them come closer. They will see that humans are never gone, not truly." He activated the ship's external cameras, zooming in on the alien vessels. Small drones detached from the fleet, moving in perfect formation, designed to test and probe. Elias watched as they approached the Aurora, but something unexpected happened. He was faster than the drones, faster than the sensors. Before the first drone could reach the ship, he had moved through the corridors, controlling automated defense arms with lightning speed. The drones were pushed away, redirected harmlessly into empty space. Aurora's voice was calm, but there was a hint of awe. "Your reaction speed exceeds all known parameters. The drones cannot track your movement." Elias chuckled. "I never needed weapons to be stronger than machines. Humans have always found a way." Quote, "But the fleet was large. These were not simple scouts. The main alien ships began to adjust their formation. Preparing for a coordinated strike, they assumed the Aurora would be empty, a derelict vessel floating in space. They had underestimated the human mind, the human body, and the human spirit. Elias moved to the observation deck. The vastness of space stretched before him, filled with alien ships, all precise and mechanical. And yet, he noticed something that the aliens had overlooked: their rigidity. Their ships moved with patterns that were predictable. They relied too much on coordination and technology. Humans, especially a human like him, could adapt in ways no machine could. He began a new test. Using his speed, he accessed the ship's external systems. The Aurora's hull was designed to interface with other vessels for repairs. But Elias used it differently. He redirected energy flows, subtly manipulating the fleet's own sensors. Drones began to misread distances. Ships adjusted incorrectly. The aliens did not understand why their formation wavered. "They cannot see it yet," Elias whispered. "But it will not take long." He returned to the main control room. The first boarding party had arrived, small alien crafts designed to attach and disable ships. They expected resistance from machines, not from a living human who could move faster than their most advanced tracking systems. Elias moved through the docking corridors. The aliens tried to aim at him, but their weapons fired too slowly. Another drone tried to attach to the hull. He twisted and redirected its magnetic connectors, launching it into empty space. Aurora's voice held admiration now. "Commander, your abilities surpass any recorded defense protocol. The fleet cannot predict your movements." He smiled, but there was no arrogance. There was only focus, clarity, and determination. Humans had always faced impossible odds. Humans had always survived. And now, alone in deep space, he was living proof of why. The aliens regrouped. A larger ship approached, slower but more dangerous. It carried the command center for the fleet, the vessel that coordinated attacks and maintained control. Elias knew this was the real test. One ship against his entire fleet. But the aliens had never accounted for human unpredictability. He studied their patterns, watching how they moved, how they adapted or failed to adapt. Then, he acted. Using the ship's systems, he created subtle energy disturbances in the fleet's sensors. Ships misread distances and directions. Drones collided. Weapons misfired. And the aliens' confidence wavered. "They think they are in control," Elias said softly. "But control is not theirs to keep." Elias moved along the outer hull in zero gravity, reaching a point above the command ship. He did not need weapons. He only needed precision. Using small magnetic pads and enhanced strength, he manipulated parts of the ship's hull, causing minor malfunctions that would confuse the fleet further. Back in the control room, he watched as the alien ships reacted. Their patterns were breaking. Their coordination failed. Small ships collided or drifted off course. The command vessel struggled to maintain order. All because one human had adapted, moved faster, and thought differently. Aurora's voice was almost reverent. "The fleet's effectiveness is reduced by 74%. Your approach is unprecedented." Elias nodded. "It is human instinct. We adapt. We survive. We do not rely solely on machines or formations. We rely on courage, creativity, and determination." For the first time, he allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Humanity, though almost forgotten in this distant corner of space, still mattered. One human could make a difference, could protect the legacy of a species that had faced countless threats. And yet, he knew the battle was not over. The alien command ship still loomed, larger and more dangerous. The first wave of their forces was scattered, but the real threat remained. Elias would have to use everything he had: strength, speed, and human ingenuity to face the coming challenge. He clenched his fists, feeling the energy in his body, the flow of strength and awareness that made him more than human, more than a soldier. He was humanity embodied in one form, a single force that no alien technology could predict or control. "Let them come," he whispered again. "Let them see the true strength of a human." And with that, Commander Elias Varn prepared for the next stage of the battle, a stage that would prove not only his abilities, but the limitless potential of humanity itself. The alien command ship loomed larger now, its metallic surface gleaming like a predator in the darkness. Through the Aurora's viewport, Commander Elias Varn watched every movement, every calculation the aliens made. Their fleet had been disrupted by his speed, his ingenuity, and his unpredictability, but now the main challenge was before him. Elias did not feel fear. Fear had been left behind centuries ago, in the time before cryo-sleep. What remained was clarity, purpose, and an unshakable belief in human potential. He was no longer just a soldier. He was the embodiment of humanity's strength, courage, and adaptability. Aurora spoke quietly, almost in awe. "Commander, the alien command vessel is initiating a final offensive pattern. They believe this will eliminate the human threat entirely." Elias shook his head. "They underestimate us. They always do." He activated the Aurora's auxiliary systems. Tiny repair drones, previously idle, moved at his command. He guided them with precision, not to attack, but to confuse and redirect the alien fleet. Lights flashed, energy fields shifted, and alien sensors misread distances and velocities. Every move he made was deliberate. Every calculation was human, not programmed, not predictable. The aliens adjusted. Their movements became hesitant. They could not predict him. Their command protocols were built for machines, not a human who could think faster, move faster, and adapt instantly. Elias moved through the corridors of the Aurora, his body flowing with speed and strength he had never known. In zero gravity, he flipped and twisted, reaching panels and controls that would normally require multiple crew members. With his enhanced abilities, he rerouted energy, opened sealed compartments, and adjusted shields with flawless timing. From the observation deck, he watched as the alien ships faltered. Small drones collided, some drifted away into the void, and the command ship struggled to maintain control. Elias smiled. Humans were not perfect, but humans were unpredictable, creative, and capable of adapting in ways machines never could. Aurora's voice was calm, but the words carried pride. "Your approach is unprecedented. The fleet's operational efficiency is reduced by 90%. Elias nodded. "Good. That is enough to protect human lives. That is enough to show the galaxy that we are not weak." He turned his attention to the command ship. It was large, slow, and overconfident. It had relied on the assumption that humans were gone, that they posed no real threat. But Elias knew that a single human, focused, determined, and enhanced, could change the tide of any battle. He activated the ship's external manipulators, small robotic arms designed for repairs and adjustments. In a blur of motion, he used them to interact with the alien command ship's outer hull. They were not weapons in the traditional sense, but tools that, in his hands, became instruments of control. Panels shifted, energy fields redirected, and sensors were temporarily blinded. From the viewport, he saw confusion ripple through the alien crew. They could not understand how one human could manipulate their command ship without even touching it. Elias paused for a moment, taking in the sight. The fleet was vast, their ships powerful, but he realized that true strength was not measured in numbers or firepower. It was measured in courage, creativity, and determination. Humanity had always survived by thinking differently, by finding solutions when none seemed possible. With a deep breath, he moved to the final task. Using his speed, he accessed the command ship's sensor network. He carefully adjusted the energy flows, redirecting minor systems to cause a chain reaction. The aliens panicked, as their own ships misfired, collided, or drifted off course. And still, Elias did not touch a weapon. He did not need to. "Humanity survives," he whispered, more to himself than to Aurora. "Not because we have the strongest weapons, but because we have the will to adapt, to think." The alien command ship faltered. Its systems, disrupted by Elias's precise actions, could not maintain coordination. The fleet scattered, unable to regroup effectively. Drones drifted off into space. The once intimidating alien armada now seemed fragile and confused, all because one human had acted where machines could not. Aurora spoke softly. "Commander, you have demonstrated capabilities beyond expectation. Human potential is remarkable." Elias smiled. "It is not about me. It is about all of humanity. One human can make a difference. Yes, but every human has the same potential." As the alien fleet retreated into the darkness, Elias guided the Aurora toward the nearest human colony. Communications channels were silent, but he knew the colonists would be safe. The aliens had underestimated humanity, and now they would think twice before attacking again. He moved through the ship, checking systems and ensuring that everything was operational. The drones he had used to manipulate the fleet now returned to standby, their work complete. Elias felt a deep satisfaction. Humanity had survived not because of numbers, or weapons, or strategy alone, but because of the ingenuity, adaptability, and courage of one human. Finally, he stood on the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, full of unknown threats. And yet, he felt hope. Humanity had endured for centuries, and with humans like him awakened, it would endure for centuries more. Aurora's voice broke the silence. "Commander, the fleet's threat has been neutralized. Human colonies are safe for now." Elias nodded. "Good. And we will keep them safe. Not because we have the strongest weapons, but because we will always find a way. That is what it means to be human." In that moment, as stars shimmered across the black canvas of space, Commander Elias Varn understood something profound. Humanity was not defined by technology, weapons, or fleets. Humanity was defined by its spirit, its courage, its ability to face the impossible and prevail. One human had faced an entire alien armada. One human had shown that even in the cold emptiness of space, humanity's strength could shine brighter than any weapon. And as the Aurora sailed silently toward the distant horizon, Elias knew this was only the beginning. Humanity would rise again, stronger, braver, and wiser, because one human could not be defeated, and neither could the species he represented.